Brazil, where gasoline engines are still dominant. So I understand and I empathize with Toyota saying, hey, we don't have to race to EVs. We'll get there, but at our own pace.
Toyota's ex-CEO just took a jab at EV manufacturers, warning that there are many ways to achieve carbon neutrality. Akio Toyoda, the former CEO and current chairman of Toyota, has long been skeptical of the electric vehicle hoopla, which was a major factor in his decision to step down as the company's CEO earlier this year. At last, he can say, "I told you so." After Elon Musk's Tesla revealed dismal third-quarter earnings recently, investors are beginning to understand that EVs are not the goldmine they saw. Akio Toyoda said people are finally seeing the reality of EVs. But what does he mean, and how is this affecting the EV industry? Toyota has long refuted the notion that the automobile industry can only become carbon neutral by using electric vehicles. This is now evident because for the first time, we are seeing big automakers slowing down their rollouts. While GM has postponed the release of the Chevy Silverado EV by an entire year, Lucid has reduced production by 30%. As part of his bold plan to lower US carbon emissions and combat climate change, President Joe Biden has gambled heavily on electric vehicles for the majority of his time in office. However, the EV market remains shaky as consumer demands for EVs and other automobiles continue to weaken due to high financing rates. This is preventing many people from even thinking about buying new cars. However, sales of EVs are still increasing, although at a slower rate. Following a 63% surge in 2022, EV sales increased at a slower pace in the first half of 2023, now at 49%, according to the Wall Street Journal. Toyota has long maintained that the auto industry should diversify its investments by also investing in hybrid automobiles and other possibilities outside battery electric vehicles. At the Japan Mobility Show, previously the Tokyo Motor Show, which opened recently for the first time in 4 years, Toyota told reporters that there are many ways to climb the mountain in the quest for carbon neutrality. Automakers like Ford Motors have cautioned in recent months about an unexpected decline in consumer demand for electric vehicles, which are often more costly than conventional gasoline-powered vehicles and require frequent recharging, which can present difficulties for certain drivers. Many consumers are finding them bothersome, and dealership unsold inventory is beginning to accumulate, despite growing discounts on plug-in versions. The industry as a whole, which is investing billions of dollars in new factories and battery production facilities and is dealing with stricter global laws on tailpipe emissions, is now concerned about the retreat in consumer interest. In the most recent indication that automakers are reversing their intentions, General Motors and Honda Motor recently announced that they are ending their 1.5-year-old collaboration to create a line of more affordable electric vehicles. Millions of cars were anticipated to be produced with GM's Ultium batteries, a proprietary technology that the Detroit automaker has positioned as the mechanical foundation of its next electric vehicles. However, GM has renounced its self-imposed goal to produce 400,000 electric vehicles by the middle of 2024, citing the need to make sure it can profitably develop these new models and the increasing unpredictability of the EV industry. Toyota and other companies have been looking to make hybrid cars as a bridging technology while the early phases of the electric vehicle revolution play out, and they have also been observing how leaders like China's BYD and Tesla operate. Out of all EVs last year, China accounted for 55% of sales, with domestic manufacturers gradually pushing out multinational automakers. Toyota had more than 2 months' supply of its electric SUV, the bZ4X, in stock last month, compared to just over a week's worth of Prius hybrids. According to some dealers in the US, the initial wave of consumers eager to test an EV has gone, and the high sticker costs and constrained driving range of many EV models have turned off the remaining consumers. General Motors, which appear to be getting the short end of the stick silently, also made another announcement that it was postponing the inauguration of an electric pickup truck facility in Michigan. The Wall Street Journal also revealed that, in the event that sales of Ford Motors' electric F-150 Lightning pickup decline, the company may consider reducing a shift at the facility where it is manufactured. In the meantime, hybrid vehicle sales in the US have surged and are expanding more quickly than expected. Automakers like Ford and Nissan Motor have been spurred by this upsurge and are now allocating more resources to the promotion of their plug-in hybrid and hybrid vehicles. Recently, Robert Wimmer, Toyota's Chief of Energy and Environmental Research, testified before the US Senate, pointing out that many automakers are openly neglecting the EV transition due to the challenges that come with making a major shift to electric vehicles. There are many challenges like refueling infrastructure, battery availability, consumer acceptance, and affordability, which some automakers are not willing to shoulder for a relatively new technology. This follows the CEOs of BMW and Audi declaring that their respective companies will not be producing new internal combustion engines, as well as outlining their timelines for completely giving up on ICE powertrains. These actions are divisive, with strong feelings on both sides, but many of them are prompted by threats from various governments to remove ICE models. These days, it seems like everywhere you go, there is fervent preaching about how soon all automobiles will be electric. For this reason, many people find Toyota's repeated reservations about making the move to electric quite surprising. Even some have taken offense at the Japanese automaker's position. But Wimmer noted that only 2% of automobiles worldwide are electric. Despite the fact that it is a small portion, governments and automakers are acting as though the EV formula has been solved. Significant roadblocks still need to be overcome before the industry makes a bold move toward electric vehicles. The standard response for the EV groups to Toyota's criticism of the EV transition is to claim that Toyota is anti-progress and backward. But before doing so, detractors ought to acknowledge that the company has a long history of innovation. After all, Toyota was the first automaker to promote electrification more than any other, having discovered the secret to making hybrids affordable for the general public. Although it took a lot of criticism for overcrowding highways with hordes of Prius users, the technology has advanced to the point that nearly every Toyota model line now comes in a hybrid configuration, with the Tundra, Sequoia, Land Cruiser, 4Runner, and Tacoma being the only exceptions. Given that Toyota invests an absurd amount of money in R&D, it will be wise for other automakers to take a step back and figure out why Toyota is still taking things slow. Remember that Tesla and Toyota were commercial partners, which led to the development of the RAV4 EV. Although neither company disclosed its reasons for terminating the agreement, there have been rumors that Toyota found something in Tesla, or perhaps in EV technology in general, that it didn't like. However, it might have been because Tesla isn't known for being financially prudent. But for whatever reason, Toyota has become more and more dismissive of fully electric cars. A lot of people also forget that the automobile took decades to become widely used. Cars were considered toys just for the affluent for a very long time. However, it was individuals like Henry Ford who made it possible for the general public to afford them. It is mysterious why we now believe that the adoption of electric vehicles may happen overnight. Wimmer did not state that electrification is not the way of the future, that it is foolish, or any of the other things that his detractors will surely accuse him of saying. He raised several extremely important issues that should be taken seriously rather than being ignored in favour of talking points and glitzy advertisements. Elon Musk has even expressed concerns regarding the burden that electric vehicles will have on global power infrastructure. That ought to be sufficient to calm everyone's nerves, not to discourage them from buying electric vehicles, but to acknowledge that it will take some time to figure out how to proceed with moving toward an electrified future. These rules and regulations will lead to devastating outcomes, as governments and automakers cannot simply impose their will over reality. We're switching to an entirely new technology, and it is expensive. People must have a new connection with their car, which hasn't evolved much in decades. Therefore, it was a little unrealistic to expect that everything would go according to plan and that we would follow a lovely adoption curve. Automakers are going to face a significant roadblock that they undoubtedly anticipated. However, it would be foolish to deny that the industry is moving toward carbon neutrality. The path's appearance is what's unclear and adding to the confusion. This hiccup may just be a reality check on EVs. That's all from this video. What do you think about the massive decline in the adoption of EVs? Is it just a short-term problem, or are people waking up to the reality that there are many ways to achieve carbon neutrality? Comment below, and please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.